If you were to get asked what one of the most well-known game series of all time is, what would you say? Maybe it would be the Super Mario games. Maybe it could be the GTA series. Maybe it could be Final Fantasy. Or it can be so many other series. Or maybe it could be God of War. Back in 2018, the newest installment in the God of War series was released. And because I was a kid, I wasn't really allowed to play it. But now that I'm grown up, physically, not mentally, I thought it would be a good idea to play it. And in case you couldn't tell by the title of the video, I got the Platinum Trophy for God of War. And this took a whole lot longer than I planned. Like, holy crap. I originally planned to play the whole game on the hardest difficulty. Give me God of War. But after about 50 deaths in the first 2 hours of playing, I went back to the normal difficulty. Because I realized that I don't want to go insane for getting Platinum Trophies yet. But if you want to see me lose my mind when I get some of these Platinum Trophies, leave a like and subscribe. So to get the Platinum, I have to get a total of 36 trophies, and of course, I started by completing the story and not getting any of the collectibles. So the story starts off by turning Kratos' wife to ashes as she had just passed away recently. And then a little bit later, we fight the stranger, who just rocked up at our house randomly. This is also the part where I quit the game and went to the normal difficulty because I just hated it. But after defeating him, we get our first trophy for protecting our home. I then open my first chest, giving me a runic attack and giving me my second trophy. I then kill some people who then got resurrected into these ice people. I don't really remember the name of them though. And then we meet up with this guy who opens his shop for us to upgrade our weapons and armor. And then we get our third trophy for upgrading our first piece of armor. Then, after running around for a bit, I get my first enchantment. And after equipping it, I got the fourth trophy. After a bit, we end up shooting a pig. I know, right? How exciting. But then, this witch appears to try and heal the pig, and eventually she ends up taking Kratos to her house. Then, after helping her heal the pig, we get our next trophy. After a bit of exploring, the witch shows us to the World Tree, where we can travel to any of the 9 realms. We then travel to Helheim, where a war against the light and dark elves is happening. And after helping end the war, we get our next trophy. Then, after getting back from Helheim, we fight a dragon, which was one of the best boss fights in the game. Not the best, but one of the best. And after defeating the dragon, we get another trophy. After defeating the dragon, we make our way up a mountain, where at the top we meet this guy named Mimir, who has grown into a tree, and he promises to help us if we free him. So we cut his head off. But of course, when you cut someone's head off, they would normally die. So we had to go back to the witch to revive Mimir, which actually worked. We then make our way up the mountain again and run into Magni and Modi, who are the sons of Thor, and we fight them and kill Magni. And after killing him, we get our next trophy. After killing Magni, we run into Modi again, and Atreus has a spasm attack. We then run back to the witch to try and save Atreus as his sickness has gotten worse, and we are told by her to travel to Helheim and collect the heart of the keeper that protects the bridge of the damned. But before we set out to Helheim, we return home and collect the Blades of Chaos, as Kratos hid them away to hide his past from Atreus. The Blades of Chaos are important for Helheim as they do more damage to the enemies there, and after killing a few, we get a trophy for retrieving the Blades of Chaos. We then travel to Helheim to kill the Keeper and take his heart, and after taking his heart, we see a reincarnation of a dust form of Zeus, who we find out is actually Kratos' father. After retrieving the heart of the Keeper, we get back to the witch and she uses the heart to break the fever. And after healing Atreus, Kratos explains that he is a god and so is Atreus. Now that Atreus knows that he is a god, it starts to get to his head, and after running into Modi for the 3rd time, Atreus kills him. But after finally getting to the top of the mountain to spread the mother's ashes, we run back into the stranger from the start of the game because apparently he didn't die. We find out the stranger's name is Baldur, and he takes Atreus and escapes to the World Tree, where we enter back into Helheim and rescue Atreus, giving us our next trophy. While in Helheim, we find Baldur and figure out that the witch is actually Baldur's mother, and she put a curse on him to make him never feel pain ever again, making him immortal, but losing all feeling in the process. We then make our way out of Helheim using a boat to fly back to the World Tree, which gave us a trophy in doing that. We then end up in the secret chamber of Odin, and once opening a chest in the chamber, we get the last Niflheim cipher piece, giving us another trophy. Once we finally get back to Midgard, we buy Atreus an armor upgrade, giving us another trophy. We then try to find Mimir's other eye, which we find out is in the World Serpent's stomach, so we venture inside the World Serpent to find his other eye. After finding his eye, we go and defeat Baldur for the final time. While fighting him, we realize that he's not getting weaker because of the curse, but when he punches Atreus, he stabs himself with the tip of the arrow that was holding Atreus' bag together. And on that arrow was a poison that reversed the curse that Baldur had, making him immortal again and allowing him to feel pain. This boss fight had a lot of stages and was honestly the best boss fight in the game. After defeating him, Freya steps in and tells Kratos to not kill Baldur, so he doesn't. But after Baldur tries to kill Freya, we eventually end up killing him, which gives us our next trophy. After defeating Baldur, we can finally travel to Jotunheim to spread Mother's ashes on the highest peak. But on our way to the highest peak, we find out that the mother is actually a giant, and the drawings on the wall actually predicted everything that has happened throughout the story, all the way up to the point of seeing a drawing of what looks like Atreus sucking the life out of Kratos. But I'm sure that's fine, that's not going to mean anything later, I'm sure of it. But finally, we are able to spread Mother's ashes on the highest peak in Jotunheim, giving us the final story trophy. However, that is not the last thing we need to do related to the story. Once we get back home, we can sleep and it will give us a cutscene set years later showing us our first look at Thor and the next game in the series. Now we are in the cleanup stage of the game and I got my next trophy for getting a runic summon to max level. We then get materials for Brock to make an armor set, which gave us another trophy. I then get a trophy for killing 1,000 enemies. I then spent the next 5 hours on Niflheim and got multiple trophies. I got a trophy for fully upgrading the Leviathan axe. I then got a trophy for fully upgrading the Blades of Chaos. And then I put a pause on Niflheim and went to go do the Muspelheim trials, and I got a trophy for completing all of the trials. I then went back to Niflheim and got all the treasure in the workshop, which gave me another trophy. I then got the final Iron Apple, which gave me another trophy for achieving maximum health. I then explored all of the Lake of Nine. I then got all the collectibles in Viethugard. I freed all the dragons. I then got the final Horn of Bloodmead, giving me a trophy for achieving maximum rage. And now that I think about it, I forgot to record me getting the trophy for healing Atreus, so here it is. I then finished a side quest which gave me another trophy. I then went to go and get what I believe to be the hardest trophy in the game, and that is for defeating the Valkyrie Queen. I want to say I spent about 100 deaths trying to defeat her, but nonetheless we ended up defeating her and getting the trophy for defeating all the Valkyries. I then got 2 trophies for buying specific armor sets. I then wrote all the shrines, which gave me another trophy. I then collected all of Odin's ravens, collected all of the artifacts, completed all of the treasure maps, and then the platinum popped. So that was the God of War Platinum Trophy. It was honestly really fun and I enjoyed every minute of it. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe to see more Platinum Trophy videos, and that's going to be it for this one. Peace.